Welcome, everybody, to Dirty Pop. We talk about Marvel shows a lot.
A whole lot.
Dirty Pop.
Dirty Pop.
So we are here to talk about Captain America and Winter Soldier. Falcon, Winter Soldier.
Episodes 3 and 4 recap.
3 and 4, yeah.
5 preview.
5 and 6.
Just 5 preview. 5 star.
5 star. Yeah, so let's just move on through it. This is obviously Marvel's second show, and so let's talk about Zemo dancing.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can all agree Zemo is life. And aside from the 1 hour awesome loop that Marvel Entertainment released on YouTube, just of the 10 seconds, it's a 10-second clip of him dancing, which includes a fun little spin, right? Like, aside from the fist bump that everybody knows well and loves, I think the finger spin is my favorite.
I think he's trying to get like a round of Madripoorian shots.
There's like a grin. He does like, whoa,
yeah.
We haven't seen this guy smile.
High town shots. Yeah. None of that low town shit. High town. So good stuff.
I mean, even that aside, Zemo has by far been the liveliest part of the last 2 episodes, and boy, I shudder to think what it would have been like without him.
Well, all right. So we had episode 3 where their goal is to go find who's making this serum, right?
Go to Madripoor. That was cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
The stomping grounds often of Wolverine, Logan himself. Yeah. So that's what they're there for. We meet up with Sharon Bourne, Sharon Carter,
Sharon Wick.
Good
Lord.
Didn't the same guy direct that episode? Yeah. It's pretty cool. I mean, she's kicking a lot of ass.
It was legit. I was like, John Wick, yeah.
Give her a little super serum.
Yeah, I mean.
So we had that happening. Okay, so that's 3.
It was a mess. They found this Nagel doctor guy who's the one who replicated. Who's been really the first person to seemingly pretty, accurately replicate. If I'm trying to think, the doctor from the first
Strange.
Captain America, not Erskine. His formula for the super soldier serum, and he gets killed immediately.
Killed.
You gotta give credit to Zemo. Again, I'm just gonna talk mostly about Zemo because I want to stay positive. This dude is a man on a mission, and he is not zagging ever. When we feel like he does not want superheroes.
Yeah, I mean it's both fun and lazy in a way. I mean it's just a continuation. It's a straight up continuation of the Civil War arc, but it's a lot of fun. I like it.
You think, is he about to do something? No, he's not interested in the serum.
Right. So
he wants to kill this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he killed him. Yeah.
So we don't like doing a lot of necessarily just straight up recaps. That leads into 4, and he gets his hand on. Let's just take this character by character. Then you think he's going to take that serum? And he's like, I thought he was like legit because
this is.
I haven't read a ton of him in the comics. I've read him some. I can't recall if he has abilities or not.
I don't know if he's ever been augmented. I know that during the Dark Reign saga, which is where I've read like all 300 of those issues in the tie-ins.
I'm getting there.
So that's the most familiar I am with any aspect of Marvel Comics. And I read up the Thunderbolts line leading up to Dark Reign because he was very relevant and ran the team. They have this weird thing where there's like a person who runs the Thunderbolts, and then there is the team leader. Melissa Gold was the team leader.
Okay.
He was running it. He had stolen Carla Sofin, I think that's her name, who's known as Moonstone. He had stolen her Moonstones. She was in a coma, and he was using her Moonstones and was like wildly powerful.
Okay.
Because they are a Kree artifact. But
yeah, I don't think he's lining up that much.
But I don't think he's like been juicing on Super Soldier Serum or anything. Even in the comics.
Well, in the comics too, I don't think he really cares about Super Soldier people.
He doesn't seem anti-hero. He's just kind of
but I don't care.
Villain.
It's not the comics, so I'm okay with it for the it's
yeah.
Good. I'm not like you got to get Zemo just like who gives a shit.
They've done a good job of transitioning from the very steeped in reality kind of Russo Brothers treatment to a more comic book version of Zemo, which is fun. I really am digging it. Yeah,
there's some interesting things too. I mean, like how long has his family been dead at this point?
Okay, so I'll say it's timeline wise it's been like 7 years in the movie verse. I don't know if he's
with the blip.
It's been 7. Like there was the 2 years after Civil War, and then there was 5 years of the blip.
Okay, so it's been 7. So
I don't know if he did. I don't think they've established if he disappeared or not. If he vanished.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've ever said that. So somebody correct us if you're going to watch this. You want to correct us? I've tried to. I've
anyway,
really tried
the whole point was just that he's dealing with it. Okay. I mean, I would expect that 7 years after, like. He might want some Madripoor and high pound
it's been like a while, and he sat in prison for at least 2.5 years. Like it was like 2 years, and then even if he did blip, it's been like okay. So Spider-Man: Far From Home took place about 6 months after. I don't know. WandaVision took place like weeks after. I think this is somewhere in between.
It's just gonna make your head hurt. Yeah,
but anyway, he's been in prison for a while. He's out. It's like, you know what? I think he's still they bring it in there a little bit, but he's still grieving. But it's like, you know what? He's got to live, and he got some stuff to do.
He's just trying to kill super soldiers and give kids candy, and there's nothing wrong.
Singing weird. He was singing like a little song, I think.
Was he? His coat's just dope. He and Bane shop at the same store. They're like the same tailor, which makes a little bit of sense. All right, let's move on. So as you call him, John Spit on Me, Walker.
He seemed. I mean, he got like I've never seen anybody who gets spit on gets more like just is unfazed, and then their eyes are more intense. Like when they bust. I think episode 3, we see him. I think it's like one of the few scenes he gets in 3 where it's like he's busting up people. He tells like don't give him a chance to run or hide or breathe, and he starts smashing people up again. He's not enhanced. Pretty big shock to learn that he wasn't enhanced up to this point.
Yeah. I'll say this about John Walker. I don't think I know we're all because he does some stink eyes. Like my man's is supposed to be coming off his
eyes, man.
Sorry, it's supposed to be coming off unhinged. I think he is perfectly sane. He's a special operations like decorated warrior. Let's really talk about what he's done. He's tried to get 2 dudes who he has no idea what they're actually doing for the government other than the one dude keeps saying, you know, like, I got government contracts when he actually does have a mandate from this, I guess, this global force or whatever that's part of it's clearly being run by the American government. And then his partner gets killed by someone who he said, we need to take them down hard. These people are dangerous. He was talked out of that. Now, he busted that up on his own, but still, that person then ends up killing his partner, and he takes one of them out with a shield. I'm just like, y'all got a lot more work to do if you expect me to like think he's nuts.
I mean, I think the social media problem is something to be dealt with.
Well, it's not good to see the shield crushing people, but you send him out to deal with murderous terrorists, which that's one of the most forced things I've ever seen in a Marvel thing is having them blow up. What was episode 3? So
I want to cover. Yeah. We don't have to cover Carl. That's the Flag Smashers. I want to talk about.
I don't like it when
go ahead. I mean, explain it. Yeah.
When an online narrative develops, John Walker's insane. Like, look, I've read the comics, but these, like we just said a second ago, these aren't the comics. He's not insane. He's not really insane. He doesn't seem remotely crazy. And by the way, why didn't you give him the serum before? You just tried him out there in a suit with that shield, and you didn't expect him to hey, go take down the super soldier. Of course he's going to get his ass kicked.
It does, in retrospect, make me have a gigantic problem with the fact that he got kicked off a moving 18-wheeler into a car and just walked away. Like,
but the shield.
The shield was up here.
Yeah. No, I guess,
But that aside.
He should have eased off that guy. He shouldn't have killed him. But then again, they're not like police, and those are not like criminals that just robbed a bank.
They've been labeled terrorists, so.
Yes.
I just think that it's just the blood all over the shield, which he didn't decapitate the guy. He just bashed his chest in. So it's kind of like, was that coughed up blood? Where did that blood come from? It's whatever.
I'll tell you another thing with John Walker. I don't like where this is going. Like,
it feels a little cheap, like because it's too fast. So it feels a little like,
but like
this is where we were supposed to get to, and we're doing it. Like,
it's his shield. Also, by the way, it is his shield. Yeah. So I'm getting kind of tired of like, we got to get that shield from like. Why? It's not yours.
Well, I want Bucky to take that shield.
I mean, I'm looking forward to the fight. I'm just saying. So this show.
Well, Sam doesn't give a shit about the shield. This show it's kind of the point where he just doesn't even care at all. Like, I don't give a shit about the shield.
Like,
so it's weird. Like, Bucky's really the only one Bucky and Walker are the only ones who really want the shield.
Yeah, Sam doesn't want it, and I don't blame him. He's been pretty clear on why he doesn't, and
Bucky's
Bucky's just got a heart on to like take that shield.
I gotta get that shield, man.
Right? Get that shield and get that money. So I don't know, like it's pretty typical with Marvel. If the Russos aren't in charge of the writing, the character motivations are very sloppy, and that's what's happening here. I don't know. And this kind of gets into what you're saying today, and I have been a little more positive with the show because the chemistry is amazing. Zemo, seeing him in action's awesome. The Sharon Carter pop-up was really cool, but I don't know what in the hell most of these people want.
I know, yeah. And, yeah, so I think you pretty much covered Walker. I don't have a lot to say. I think he's been given a very light treatment. It's almost like they want the idea of what's going on with him, but not really to give you much meaning to it. So
well, that's the thing. Here's where they chickened out. Like Marvel, I shouldn't say that. Marvel likes walking up to the line on some real electric issues, and they like to get their toes like literally as close up as they can, and then stop. I'm not blaming them. I'm not saying it's bad. They've explored, like we talked about with 1 and 2, they've explored what it means to be black in America more than I thought they would. I'm glad they did, but with PTSD and how troops are treated and what they come back from, and the fact that we have this warrior class and the rest of them just let them go fight our wars, and we act like everything's fine. Why can't you just come right back and get a job? And wait, just go talk to a therapist for a minute. Which they should. But like to me, that's where they could have explored. You want to show me like a well-rounded character that's starting to kind of crack up a little bit. Like I just watched that movie Cherry, which is so, but they do a good job of that. And that's where I think you could have done something with John Walker other than why is this dude losing his shit? His buddy, Battlestar, who probably went through the same stuff with him, seems extremely well adjusted. So what's wrong with you? What's your problem? So like it just would have been a more genuine, honest take on him if the Battlestar guy was having little issues, or they at least talked about it, or
something that he.
I don't want to go all student film, but maybe some nightmares.
They did give there was like that one conversation where they indicated that they took a lot of losses, and that's why he got his medals. And so it's like, all right, but that was like 10 seconds,
right?
So yeah, that's what what they do. So yeah,
if he doesn't have some PTSD and he's not suffering from some weird after effects of a super serum injection that wasn't quite right, what's wrong with him then? Why is he supposed to be nuts?
So I do want to move on to some more.
That's fine.
You're gonna find these things to be a little. So okay,
I didn't expect to get up on this John Walker.
So the super soldier serum.
Yeah,
I didn't really think as much about it because I assumed the Flag Smashers had it for a period of time. How did he administer that to himself, John Walker?
Well,
because in Captain America, it's a very in-depth process. When we see Blonsky get it in the Hulk movie, it's a multi-step process. Did he just like drink it, or does that work? I think you usually have to have like some radiation involved, and probably administered via needle. Probably
Latvia is known for its advancements in medicine, particularly experimental injections. So that's how.
Very good.
Very good.
Yeah. Okay. So the Flag
Latvia
kind of want to end. I know kind of want to end on Falcon and Bucky, but I want to go next to the Flag Smashers.
Flag Smashers.
Boy. So the first thing I want to talk about is there's some good videos online where people have done some nice like frame by frame or like scene by scene analysis where it's very clear there was a component of the show that was going to be about a pandemic. They definitely cut it. The story kind of came out last year. It was known they were doing reshoots, but like they have heavily redacted and reframed the show to take a pandemic element out.
You really dove into that,
and it just to me, it's probably why I think the Flag Smasher scenes make no sense, and they are completely they feel very inconsequential to the series.
They're just empty.
And there's a character, Mama Donya, who is only present as a dead body. This is actually played by someone named Veronica Falcon, who is noted on IMDb as one of Mexico's most talented and prestigious actors. and she has a
You don't do her that way.
pretty thorough IMDb. And the reason I'm saying it is just that she is like apparently a noted actor that would not have been taking a role as a dead body only. So yeah, like it's just it's a mess.
Just to like bring it back here, so because we're talking about Mama Donia, which should never
It's just
happen.
a huge sign that they completely
altered what their original plot because they were worried because we're a pandemic and people will lose it because we are in a
Why would you do that?
One of the number one rented movies in America 3 months into the COVID-19 pandemic was Contagion. Like we're living it. Like it's not. It's like those like.
I just think like
I don't know, man.
What a huge miscalculation, and I think it has had a very significant impact, not a positive one, on the show.
Yeah.
So and I think that's why, like, if you notice their scenes, like there's all these like AVR where you'll see somebody and somebody's talking off screen, or they'll like look at a phone and there's audio, or like you'll see them here one scene and like boom, they're like a totally different. Like during the same moment, they're like here and then they're there, and it's just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So it's just a mess.
Well,
and I think they just should have cut them completely because.
So that's a mess. Yeah. And I'll tell you something else.
And I like Erin Kellerman. She plays Carly Morgan. I think she's doing a fine job. It's just, it's not working for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's doing a fine job. They probably would have been better off to lean more into the Zemo. Or Sam getting kidnapped by a villain, and so Bucky has to help him escape, and then the tables are turned, and Zemo has to be enlisted. Some friends become enemies, some enemies become friends, whatever. Now, but I was just going to say, because what I told you is I'm not as disappointed because this is what often, unless the Russo brothers or Taika Waititi are involved, to me, this is often what the best of. This is as good as Marvel gets.
I mean, the Iron Man movies, other than 3, were really good.
Yeah, and I'm actually one of the few in the world that enjoy Avengers Ultron. I didn't at first. I hated it first, but I've loved it already.
Avengers are
I guess
good.
what I'm just saying is, okay, well, here's the point.
But I mean, you get like your movies. We know you like Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel.
Here's the point. If this had been watched, when Marvel movies are watched, they're watched in one sitting. I think if this show was given like the Justice League treatment, where it's 4.5 hours, or at the minimum they release them all at once, I think we would have gotten so caught up in the awesome chemistry with Bucky and Sam. Oh, Zemo did cool shit. Oh, how about that reveal toward the back, the back third of the show? Because I think that's what happens with a lot of the Marvel stuff. Is because at least for me, I have a lot of problems with a lot of the story stuff in a lot of the movies. But there's so many great moments that when I walk out of the theater, they're not really registering that. And I think I think it would have. I'm not saying that there's something that clearly I think they overcorrected with the pandemic stuff because they definitely did. You're right.
Yeah.
Because the Flag Smashers are just nondescript throwaway.
Well, they're introed like stealing vaccines, and it's like, what happened to that? Yeah,
right?
it's just
And then they inexplicably blow up that hospital,
which is just so weird. Yeah, that you like. They did that because it was very obvious. Like, these people don't seem like villains, so we need to make them do something very, very bad.
That's exactly what they did. They were probably looking at, I don't know if it's the dailies or whatever, and they were probably like, well, these guys are sympathetic. What do we do? Blow up a hospital. Perfect. I mean, like, that's garbage writing and garbage character development. And I would have respected them more if they just were like, Sam and Bucky are like, y'all can't have the super serum. Like, that's enough.
And I think that the sequence of her and, spoilers, I'm sorry, whatever.
Oh, yeah, spoilers.
When she kills Battlestar, like, to me, that's your moment of crossing the line. Like, you didn't need to blow the hospital or what. Like, you didn't need to blow that building up. Like, her crossing the line was her killing Battlestar. So,
how did those two survive the same type of fighting on top of a truck? There's people getting thrown around everywhere, but Battlestar, he gets thrown. As somebody they said on one of the podcasts we listened to, is he like the first Marvel character to ever die from being thrown into something?
I mean, when Captain America in the movie The Winter Soldier attacks the Lemurian starship, he kicks people into steel doors on the ship. He throws his shield as hard as he can.
Well, Battlestar's wearing like some
armor. When Steve Rogers,
no, I know, but like he's even more.
He puts a massive hurt on these guys.
Steve Rogers must have a hell of a body count. That's all I got to say, because he's stronger than she is.
And you can say he was very controlled, and maybe he pulled back, and she probably didn't pull back, but like still, like he
was kicking dudes up into 18-wheeler carriages, or like.
So that's a little bit of, again, a stretch, but that is at least a moment that's like makes kind of sense narratively. Like, okay, this is her crossing the line, and then that led to him, Walker killing the guy. So anyway, I think we've covered the flags. There's just not that much. They're just not interesting. They're not compelling. The show comes to a grinding halt when only they are on screen, which thank goodness is not very often. It's really not good.
God, how many more little scenes do we need to see of them just talking about life?
I mean, we actually saw one of them reading text messages.
She wants to be a teacher,
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Yeah,
not gonna happen, Carly. So okay, Falcon and Sam,
well,
Bucky.
what's the goal of the Flagsman? Like, those people are back. You can't.
They gotta go get the.
They gotta get the
stones.
gauntlet. They get the stones.
Now you want to pull me into the Flag Smashers? Go get that gauntlet.
Yes. That's what I was. Okay, that is where they missed a huge because
I would have had one to say maybe Thanos was right.
So is the blip the return, or is that what they call the disappearance?
So to me, I think people are playing fast and loose. The blip is the return.
Okay.
The vanish. I think the movie's kind of considered the vanishing is when the snap. I call it the snap. I think maybe they call it the vanishing. I don't know, but
okay, well,
the snap and the blip.
That's okay. The blip, though. That's what it was. So the blip.
Because they literally just kind of. Well, see, Spider-Man Far From Home did it different than. I much prefer the WandaVision depiction. That was awesome.
The Spider-Man stuff does not count, but it also doesn't count because Sony.
Because they don't give a crap. Yeah.
And all right, so now what I'm just saying is, I think there was a really huge landscape to explore in terms of what the ramifications of the blip, and I don't mean like this supposed to be, Antifa knockoff bullshit, which they don't. I'm not going to go down that road about how lazy this Flag Smasher shit really is. But anyway, exploring, there's going to be major conflicts.
A lot of people wanted that. Everybody who's a big MC fan wants to see more about the effects of the blip in the real world.
Do you know how easy that is to set Bucky and Sam off on some interesting adventure to deal with some major crisis caused by the blip? Like, the opportunities are endless. And instead we get this people that, boy, they really liked it the way it was. So now what's your plan? What is your plan now? Like, what 5 of you like B+ super serum soldiers? You're gonna take down every country on the planet. What? That's your plan?
It's the Iron Man. Like, there is no throne. Like,
There's more than enough military to take it. They don't need.
They're not bulletproof. They
don't even need any superheroes to deal with these folks. They need a few drones. That's it.
Yeah.
So not advocating. Sorry, I'm not really advocating for drone murder.
Yeah.
You know what my point is?
To me, look,
the military at this point has more than enough ways to deal with these.
The plot of this could have been so simple. You've got this power broker person, and there's more than one way to deal in power. Like, a super weapon is also a way to deal in power. You could have had a super weapon on the loose. You get Batroc. I think that Batroc Leaper got more involved. Bucky and Falcon chasing this down.
Go get Vulture out of prison. Let him deal with it.
You got this new Captain America guy. You could still do some of the things they're doing, but you just didn't need them.
You have tanks.
Yeah, to me, a super weapon would have been a much more compelling story. And then buddy copping their way through, chasing it down. Then you actually get maybe even a more interesting version of Zemo where he's not just killing hating superpower people. Maybe he wants to get his hands on that thing.
That's my other problem. It's literally while I do love Zemo's consistency, and that does make him interesting. That even in the face of because I thought he was going to slip one of those serums because he's but that was a good job to the writers because that is consistent. But we're just doing the same. He's just doing the exact same thing he did in Civil War.
Yep.
Literally the exact same plot. And that's just again, Bucky and Sam are so cool together, and the action scenes are so on point. And
they were the thing I was so excited about, and they are as good as I thought they would be. So,
I don't. Walker does nothing for me. He doesn't do anything for me either. I'm literally just.
And it's not Wyatt Russell's fault. It's just the character.
He's fine.
Well,
no, he was the only good part of it. There was a shitty Overlord movie that you never. One of the few movies in my life I can count on one hand that I actually just had 15 minutes left. I'm just tired. So yeah, I will tell you this too. I know a lot of people care about this stuff. I come at this from a very different place from most of the YouTube reaction crowd. The teases and that shit and the rumors don't do anything. I don't care who the power broker is. I really don't. Unless it's Thanos, I don't care.
They're going to be disappointed anyway. WandaVision showed me, and now I'm pretty certain. I'm realizing I'm totally changing my perception and expectation from these series. They're not going big yet. Maybe they'll shock me in the last 2 episodes, but so now I'm starting to think like the scale is small for this, and the scope is small.
Because you have to think like, well, WandaVision, what did they really do to even set up Doctor Strange 2? Well, they made her a little more powerful, and it's not like she was ever like completely like well balanced. So they didn't really change that.
Barely. I mean, to me, I don't consider it a tie-in. Like you could tie in Wanda in 30 seconds at the start of a Doctor Strange movie without that show, which is probably what their intention is.
Yeah, maybe you feel a little more attached to Wanda, and I don't know which vision we're gonna get, but like
you needed that before Infinity War because I'm rewatching it.
Exactly. But in terms of tying into the greater films, we'll see. You'll see.
But yeah, so Falcon. The 2 leads are great. The fight scenes are really good. I just want to be clear. People are like, "Oh, I just don't get enough of the fight." I don't love Marvel Studios movies and content because of the fight scene. I love the character. Like you said, there are problems with the plot in most of these films. Like the Avengers, Infinity War probably not as much. Endgame is just it is riddled with plot issues and like things being sequential and not making sense, and that's okay. Like, whatever, but like it has a lot of problems, but that's not the same as like the dialogue and the character interactions, and that's what we all love. Yeah, I want to see the scenes when Tony gives his little no trust liar thing to Cap. Like that's the meat that we want.
Civil War, like somehow Tony is completely twisted about who caused all these problems, and they never address it. Never once does anyone ever say, Tony, actually, I think you caused a lot of it.
But it's still,
it works. It's a great movie.
But I'm still like compelled to see the guilt that he feels, and that's what's driving so much of what he's doing. And and maybe that's just also quality of actors. But like the moments when Bucky and Sam are just talking about their history and what they should do, those are great scenes. And Zemo breaking it down about why it's all good. It's just
what would have been fun. You pair off. John Walker should not have been in this series.
Probably not.
It shouldn't. The whole idea of Bucky like Glenn Close, Fatal Attraction, and like that shield is his Michael Douglas. It's weird and it's weird. Please stop. And then the only thing that's weirder is the fact that these two still don't like each other.
Yeah, it's not.
Please knock it off, guys.
They like each other. It's like it's obvious.
Yeah, it's you look at like Bad Boys like Mike and Martin Lawrence, Mike Lowry, and Marcus. Thank you, God. You should have changed it up with the M's. Yeah. But anyway, like they got in some pretty good arguments and annoyed each other, but they didn't continually come back to "I hate you." Like that's okay.
We're done with this.
That was fun in Civil War. And maybe even a little bit at the start, but let's move on from that. I hope they will. But as long as those two are in it, and they will be because it's the damn title card, it'll be fine. I'm curious to see how they tie it up.
What do you think? Yeah, next episode. A lot of rumors about a big cameo and about big hyper emotional storyline.
God, I wish you could gamble on if there was somewhere that would let me gamble on that, like. What the level of cameo will be, like I would bet $1,000. It's just silly shit.
Will it be the same as the aerospace engineer from WandaVision? Jeez. Or Boner, the Boner joke.
Yeah, the Boner joke. Yeah, I'm about all done being trolled by Marvel, so I don't. But then again, that's fine. I'm not mad. Like I just don't care, and I don't care the power broker. If Sharon Carter, that's stupid.
Yeah.
If it's Zemo, that makes no sense.
The Sharon Carter thing, just real quick. How does her whole thing? I can't honestly. I'm actually somewhat inclined to think that maybe she is a Skrull because like her character, it makes no sense why she is the way is it Bucky or Sam's like she sucks now or something like that, or like she's kind of the worst now. One of them said that.
Come on, Sharon.
Like, well, she's kind of awful now. That's it. Yeah, well, she's kind of awful now.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Why did they say that?
Well, she's like just like so jaded and bitter and angry and like this new thing. Like she definitely dusted. That was established. So she was gone for 5 years.
Yeah.
So how did she end up in this situation? it's just weird. Like it's very strange. So like the last time you saw her, she was
because they needed her to pop up in Madripoor, and that's where criminal things happen.
Yeah.
You have some lazy writing on this thing, man.
I'm just hoping that maybe she's working. Maybe she's like still working for Nick Fury, and she's like they're working an angle, or I don't know. But that's what I'm like. Yeah, I do. I want the show to be great. I'm just kind of like coming down to earth and I was like, it's not great.
Expectations.
I want it to be really good. I sound negative because I was not happy with episodes 3 and 4. I didn't particularly enjoy them. On the whole, there were good moments, but I just wasn't real happy with them.
Yeah, this feels just like all the comic books I grew up on. Like plot's pretty thin. I get some cool scenes. I have this nihilistic attitude after Endgame where I told you I was like, I think Marvel's done.
The movies are just so much richer than what we're getting.
Yeah. Well, and then what are we even getting after? So we can do a state of the Marvel thing later. It's interesting because like I'm enjoying it fine, but my expectations were definitely lower.
Well, they have all this money they spend on. I don't see the money.
I better get some expectations lower for Loki real quick though, because
I'm like it's hard to tamp that down.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So last thing, real quick, your thoughts before the rumor that there's going to be a Wolverine anthology.
Oh my god! I nearly just asked you that. Like, and things to close out.
News.
In news, I heard that's stupid. Wolverine. That's not. Someone's blowing smoke up somebody's ass.
He is the second most popular character behind Spider-Man.
Yeah.
In Marvel.
Let's take one of the main reasons we just paid how much.
Like $70 billion.
$70-ish billion.
To buy all of Fox.
Probably about the number one IP that's included. Don't give me no Fantastic Four bullshit. They paid for Wolverine. And we just paid all that money. And so we're going to do a American Horror Story style anthology show on Disney. Like, that's one of the things that as soon as it hit my eyes.
It sounds so stupid.
And that's just either they're floating an idea to gain like reaction from the verse. Somebody's just trying to get clicks because that's just horse shit. Because then they were like, but the first season that'll be about Madripoor or something.
Okay.
No, or Weapon X. First season will be about Weapon X,
and you might get like a World War II aspect with Steve Rogers.
The first season, I didn't get to that. I guess I quit reading. I definitely quit reading. The first season will be about Weapon X. That will actually be part of the MCU continuity. But the other seasons are an anthology. And I was like,
wait, the whole anthology thing was like, are you going to is he not going to be Logan in the next? Like, is he going to be a different, same act? The whole anthology thing, it's like, typically it's like same actors, different roles.
Oh, so can I also tell you,
what are you talking about? Yeah.
Shut up, go home and count your money news. And this is, I won't start on this rant because we'll be another 30 minutes. But I also read in that thing that Hugh Jackman spoke with Kevin Feige about his concerns about because the nice arc where he left his character in Logan, which is a great film, and it just hit me again that these actors really do think they own these characters.
Yeah, that's just
and I guess again from reading comic books for 30 years, and on the Ringers The Watch, they explained this beautifully. Generations come in, they take these characters, they tell their stories with them. They're like toys on a shelf. They do their thing. When they're done, they put them back on the shelf. The next generation comes along. Like people can whine and moan about it's Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man forever. That's cool. But he ain't gonna be.
So it's worth too much money. It's just worth money.
If Chris Evans don't want to come back, guess what? There'll be another Kevin. I ain't talking about no bullshit about no John Walker. I'm talking about Steve damn Rogers.
Disney wants money.
They all want money. You think they're never going to do it? You think they've just written off two of the most popular characters of the last 15
That's the thing that
years?
gets me. People on all the people on YouTube and people that write articles, they never address the most important aspect of all of this: show business, money.
Yeah,
they're going to bring these things back. They have to.
Yeah.
They don't have a choice.
With or without him. And I got news for Hugh Jackman. It don't matter.
You're not Wolverine anymore. Well, loved it. You were great. You're done. You're not Wolverine anymore.
If you don't want to be,
I guess he could be.
He could be.
He could still be. I mean, I guess he's not too old.
It's just what you don't get to do is you don't get to take the IP down into the grave with you. Like that's just not how it works.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just not how life works.
Yeah.
It's like the Bulls still play basketball, man. I mean, not well, but
Yeah.
you can't be like, well, Jordan's not here, y'all. We just don't play basketball anymore. Anyway, all right.
Last rumor: Uma Thurman as Carla Sofin, who I did mention earlier.
Who is? I don't want to know.
I think that's also preposterous as well. But she is a therapist, so there was like someone was like, well, you could do Thunderbolts and her become John Walker's therapist. I'm like,
Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman can't both be in the MCU together at the same time.
Yeah.
No, apparently they get along great doing it for the kids. All right. Got anything else? I mean, I'm looking for.
We nailed it.
I'll be watching it. I'm eager to watch it. I'm going to watch 5 and 6.
It's great.
I'm going to watch Loki. I'm committed to enjoying.
I want it to be great.
The parts of it that but the writing's not good. All right. Whatever the base.